Once upon a time, in a peaceful forest where tall trees reached up to touch the sky, there lived a sleek red fox and a glossy black crow. One bright morning, the crow was flying over a small village when she spotted something wonderful on a windowsill. A big, round piece of golden cheese. It looked delicious and smelled even better. The crow looked left, then right. No one was watching. Quick as a wink, she swooped down, grabbed the cheese in her beak, and flew back up into the trees. "What luck," she thought happily. "What a fine breakfast I've found." She landed on a high branch of an old oak tree, the cheese held firmly in her beak. She was just about to enjoy her treasure when a voice called up from below. "Good morning, beautiful bird." The crow looked down and saw the fox sitting at the base of the tree, gazing up at her with bright, admiring eyes. The crow felt pleased. Beautiful bird, he had called her. But she didn't say anything. She couldn't, not with the cheese in her beak. My, continued the fox, in his smoothest, most charming voice. "What lovely glossy feathers you have. They shined like midnight stars. And your eyes, so bright and intelligent." The crow shifted on her branch, listening. No one had ever said such nice things about her before. She held the cheese a little more tightly. The fox walked slowly around the tree, looking up with wonder. "And your wings, so elegant, so graceful. Surely you must be the most magnificent bird in the entire forest, perhaps in the whole world." The crow's chest puffed up with pride. She did have rather nice feathers, didn't she? And her wings were quite graceful when she flew. "You know," said the fox thoughtfully, tilting his head, "with such beauty, you must have a beautiful voice too. I've heard that crows can sing the most enchanting songs, but I've never heard one myself." He sighed dramatically. "Oh, how I wish I could hear your voice, lovely crow. If your song is as beautiful as you are, then surely you must be the queen of all birds." The queen of all birds. The crow liked the sound of that very much. She did have a voice, and surely it must be as lovely as the rest of her. Why shouldn't she sing? Just one little song to show this polite fox how talented she was. The crow opened her beak to let out her finest caw. But the moment she opened her beak, down tumbled the cheese. It fell through the air, down, 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 and the fox caught it neatly in his mouth. "Caw, caw," cried the crow in dismay, but it was too late. The fox looked up at her, the cheese between his teeth, and his eyes were no longer admiring, they were twinkling with mischief. "Thank you for the cheese, dear crow, and let me give you something in return. A piece of advice. Never trust flattery from someone who wants something from you. Those who praise you too sweetly may be after more than your friendship." And with that, the fox trotted away into the forest with his breakfast, leaving the crow sitting sadly on her branch. The crow felt foolish. She had been so pleased by the fox's pretty words that she had forgotten to think clearly. The cheese was gone and her stomach rumbled with hunger. But as she sat there in the morning sun, the crow realized something important. She had learned a valuable lesson. From now on, she would think carefully before believing someone who told her only what she wanted to hear. True friends would be honest with her, not just flattering. And do you know what? That very afternoon, the crow found 3 fat, juicy berries on a bush, and this time she flew straight home and ate them safely in her own nest, sharing them with no one but her own family. The crow never forgot what happened that day, and whenever she heard someone saying overly sweet words, She remembered the fox and thought twice before believing them. As for the fox, he enjoyed the cheese, but found it wasn't quite as satisfying as he had expected. He thought about the crow sometimes and wondered if maybe, just maybe, being clever wasn't always the same as being kind. And they both lived on in the forest, a little bit wiser than before. The end. Sleep well, little one. Remember, the kindest words are honest ones, and it's always good to think with your head as well as your heart.